Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. YouTube. Psycho Physiques in the building. And no gym today, as you can see. Gotta go run a few errands. So I figured I'd talk to you guys and talk about consistency in training programs. Because I get a lot of people that they keep switching their training programs consistently. Like they're consistent with changing it, but they're not consistent with staying with one for an extended amount of time. And an extended amount of time, I would probably say like 6 to 8 weeks. Like see what your results are after 6 to 8 weeks. Don't just switch it, because like you're not even getting the full benefit of the program. You know, like keep it basic. Stop doing all the fancy stuff. People are like, oh, I'm not building muscle or I'm not building mass. Well, if you stop, you gotta go for your goal. So if you're going for mass, then of course you're gonna be a lot heavier, and the weight is probably gonna be a little less. It's gonna be a lot less reps. And then if you're going for a bodybuilding style, then you're gonna be more of a 8 to 10 rep range, or whatever. Everybody's different though, so you can't go off one scheme of reps or one scheme of sets and just think that it's just gonna work for you. You kind of gotta play with it, but keep your program. Don't switch it. Just switch the reps and stuff like that, or the sets, or maybe the intensity. Like, you know, maybe you're resting too long in between your sets, or maybe you're not resting long enough in between your sets. I mean, whatever your goal is, adjust your plan to it, but don't just keep switching it. Just be consistent, because at the long run, like, consistency is what like really pays off. Like, if you're consistent with something, then you're doing it day in and day out. You're making plans for it and stuff like that. So that's what I think helped me a lot, is being consistent. Because honestly, I'm an impatient person. I finally can admit it. I'm an impatient person. Like, there's times where I'll be looking at the schedule and like, I ain't trying to do that. I'm trying to get some gains, and I just go in there and lift heavy. But my goal is bodybuilding, so I have to, like, you know, ground myself and just say, hey man, you messing up, man. You know, it's cool to go in there every now and then and do some heavy weights, just to shock the body and stuff like that. You know, keep the mass. But I mean, if your overall goal is bodybuilding, then, you know, your weight is not going to be as heavy as a weightlifter. It shouldn't be. So just keep that in mind when you're working out. Just make sure that you're training for your goal, you know, and not just training. You know, there's a difference from actually training the muscle and just training. And a lot of people will be like, well, what does that mean? Like, if you're focused on what you're doing, you know, focusing on that contraction and stuff like that, then yeah, you're training. You know, you're training the muscle. But if you're just going through the motions and stuff like that, then yeah, you're just training. You're not doing anything else. You're just going through the motions, hour, and you're out. So remember to be consistent. Train for what your goal is, and, you know, stick with a plan for like at least 6 to 8 weeks, at least. All right. You guys have a good one. I'm gonna try to have a good one. It just started raining, so you know how that's gonna go. It's a gloomy day already, and the rain is dropping. So I'll holler at you on the next one.